In the previous video, I showed you how to create a fluid grid layout for the mobile, tablet, and desktop versions of this project. As you discovered, getting to that point is really not terribly difficult. Styling this stuff is another story altogether, and it depends upon your comfort level with CSS. In this video, we're going to start styling the document. I'm not going to get terribly complicated because the whole point of this exercise is to show you how to make changes to the styles in a fluid grid layout and how those changes can ripple through an entire project. This means I'm going to work inside the CSS styles already created during this series. Still, as I pointed out, you really should create a separate CSS doc for this purpose so that you avoid the potential of screwing up the project. With that said, let's get started. The first step is to turn off the green overlay and column guides. You do that by coming to the Visual Aids icon here, clicking it, and deselecting Fluid Grid Layout Guides. And now that they're turned off, we've got no distractions. We can now worry about styling the content. The basic styling driving this layout can be found in the boilerplate CSS document, which is right here. And if you scroll up to the top in the comments, you can find out a ton more about the various bits and pieces of this document by going to the link that I've shown you. Okay, I'm going to swing back to Design View. And the other thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm in mobile. Okay, so I'm going to go to the mobile area. And the reason for this is that most of the changes that you're going to make, well, practically every change you make to the mobile first, and that ripples through the entire project. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is open the CSS Styles panel right here. And you can see that I've got two CSS sheets attached, the boilerplate and, of course, the fluid CSS. What I want to do is add a background color to the project. To do that, I'm going to select the body property in the boilerplate. So just twirl down boilerplate, select the body property, click the Add Property button here in the Properties, and add a background. And I just come up here, find the background color, and the background color I'm going to add is #D6 D6 D6. Press the return key and you can see that we've now got a background color. I can twirl up the boilerplate CSS because we're not going to be making any more changes to it. And now we're going to concentrate on the actual layouts themselves. Now, one of the issues with the fluid grid layouts is it's not exactly easy to tell which is which. If I twirl down fluid CSS, all I got here is just a list of the various properties that are affected and the rules. What you need to be aware of is that the mobile, the tablet, and the desktop layouts are all contained in a grid container. So we know that the first grid container in the CSS style sheet actually affects mobile. So most of the changes that you want to make are going to be done here because the changes you make to the various rules inside the grid container will ripple through the entire document. So what I want to do is give the container a background color. In this case, it's going to be C3, C5, C4. So I'm just going to add the property. Go up, find the background color. There it is. #C3, C5, C4. Press return, and the color changes. Another change I need to make is to add a background image to the header. Just having some text there is not part of the plan, and actually it looks kind of boring. As well, it's going to give you a really good idea of how mobile first actually works with a fluid grid layout. I'm going to select the header rule in the mobile area, and the first thing I'm going to do is to add a background image. Now, rather than do it in here, I'm going to edit the rules. So I just click the pencil, come up to the background area, select Browse for background image, go over to my Images folder, and there is a warrior pit image. And you can see that it looks like a strip. Click Open. And I don't want it to repeat, so I'll make sure that I select No Repeat. Another change I want to make is to ensure that the image's height, 120 pixels, is maintained. To do that, I'm going to swing over to the box area, and change the height to either 120 pixels or 100%. So I'm just going to change it to 100%. And that's done. And if I just move this over here and click apply, you can see the image is in place. Now, one last change I want to make is to change the color of the text here. I want to have a white color. So what I'm going to do is head over to the type area, click on the color chip, change it to white. And I want it centered in the box. So I'm going to head over to the block area and set the text align to center. If I click OK, the change is made. And if I swing between the three layouts, you can see there's the image moving around or expanding and contracting based upon the desktop, tablet, or mobile grid. Now, having the text seem to float in space is bothering me. So what I've decided to do is to change the background color for the main and side divs to white, and to space them out by adding 10 pixels of bottom margin. Now I can do that right here with the main. I'm just going to add a property. I'm going to add a background color. And I'll just choose the white color chip. And I'm also going to add margin bottom, and I'm going to give it 10 pixels. Press return. That's done. I'm going to do the same thing with the side. Add property, background color, white, and add another property, margin bottom, and I'm going to give it 10 pixels. Press return, and it's done. Now, one of the issues, of course, is that the text seems to be all just bunched up against the edge of the div there. What I can't do here is to simply toss some padding into the divs, because I run a very real risk of screwing up the width calculations. Instead, I'm going to enter some padding directly into the Fluid CSS style sheet. So I come to Fluid CSS, and I'm going to come to the mobile layout, and I'm going to create a style rule for the H2, H3, and P tags. H2, H3, curly braces, and I'm going to add some padding. And I'm going to make it 0 and 2.0%, semicolon, curly brace. Just give this a little space here. There we go. And if I refresh it, you can see that it's moved off. Let's just make sure that our change has rippled through. So we've got the text off the edge in the mobile. Let's go to the tablet. Yep, same thing. And if we go to the desktop, it's all done. All is good. Okay, so one final issue I want to deal with is the size of the text in the header. It looks great in the mobile layout, but it's awfully small in the tablet and even smaller in the desktop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down the Fluid CSS here in the CSS styles, and I'm going to locate the header rule for the tablet layout, and I'm going to change the font size property. So I'll just go to type, font size property, and I'm going to change it to 150%. Click OK, and you can see that it has expanded in size in both the tablet and the desktop. And in the desktop, I just want to change it to 200%. So I'm going to edit the rule, come to the type, and we're going to make the font size here 200%. Click OK, and it looks a whole lot better. Finally, let's deal with the footers. We're going to go back to mobile, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the footer color to text to white and the background color to a dark gray. And while we're at it, we really should center the text. So we're going to come back up to the footer right here, and let's edit the rule. And the color of the text is going to be white, and the background color is going to be gray. We'll choose this very dark gray here, 333333. And we will, of course, go into the block and set the text align to center. If I pull this up and click apply, you can see it's done. Click OK. Now what we can do is save the project because we've made changes to the boilerplate and Fluid CSS plus the code. And you can go to File, Save All. And this will save all your changes. And now what we can do is preview it in a browser. So let's take a look at it in Google Chrome. So I'm going to preview in Google Chrome, and you can see there's the desktop layout. And if I shrink it, you can see that all the changes are made. And if I scroll down, you can see the changes we've made are there. What about Firefox? Well, let's go back to Dreamweaver and take a look at it in Firefox. So Firefox launches. There it is. There's that background color. There's that white color for the divs. There's that gray color we put in for the footer. There's the little bit of padding that we added in there. And if we move it in, you'll notice that we've now got a responsive design happening here. Okay, I'm going to quit Firefox. What I've done here is to walk you through how a fluid grid layout is styled. If you get anything from this, it is that global changes are always done using the concept of mobile first. I did show you how to change the styles for the tablet and the desktop layouts only as well. The key to all of this is recognizing there is no easy way of determining which layout is which. Your first clue is to look for the 3 grid containers in the CSS Styles panel, which are always in the order of mobile, tablet, and desktop. In the final installment of this series, I'm going to complete the project by adding images to the layout. I'll see you there.